Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines we have: the boosting trade and resilience in the Horn of Africa. Israeli army targets a school for displaced persons in Khan Younis. Welcome to our newsroom. President Gelle pays tribute to the memory of the late Emir of Kuwait. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gelle, has paid a vibrant tribute to the memory of the late Emir of the State of Kuwait, Sheikh Nawaf Ahmed al-Sabah, who passed away this Saturday. I was shocked and dismayed to hear the sad news, said the head of state, hailing the many positive transformations that took place in Kuwait under his leadership. An experienced leader, he commanded esteem for his ability to anticipate events and always bring his countries into line with the modernity. Noted the President of the Republic, who also referred to the late leader's constant commitment to the stability and development of the Arab world. May God welcome him into his eternal paradise, implored the head of state, expressing his saddened condolence and assurance of his compassion and solidarity to his family and to the whole of the sister nations of Kuwait. The late Emir Sheikh Nawaf, who passed away on Saturday at the age of 86, acceded to the throne of the state of Kuwait in 2020, following a distinguished career in which he headed the main ministerial department of the sister countries. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. The messages of congratulations from the President of the Republic to the King of Bahrain. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gelle, wished health and happiness to the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, whose country is currently celebrating the anniversary of its national holiday. The people and government of Djibouti join me in expressing their sympathy and friendship to the sister nation of Bahrain, wrote President Gelle in the congratulatory telegram sent to His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. On this occasion, I wish further progress, development, and prosperity to the sister nations of Bahrain, noted to the Djiboutian head of state. In the same document, the President of the Republic also took advantage of the telegram to welcome the high level of solidarity and cooperation between the two sister nations, and to reiterate our country's permanent commitment to strengthen these privileged relations. A similar message was sent to the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Royal Highness Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Yesterday, following a meeting with the partners at the 90th Ministerial Meeting of the Horn of Africa Initiative, the Republic of Djibouti, through its Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, and his Ethiopian counterpart, Ahmed Shide, together with the European Commission and Germany, jointly unveiled the new alliance aimed at boosting trade, economic integration, and resilience in the region. The announcement follows discussions in Addis Ababa last October, underlining the EU's commitment to strengthen its engagement in these strategic areas. The initiative follows discussions at the last ministerial meeting in Addis Ababa in October, which Commissioner Aplainer attended. It further deploys EU's positive and sustainable global strategy and will mobilize 83 million euro of support from EU budget to strengthen trade, economic integration, and resilience in the region. The Horn of Africa is a region rich in opportunities, but it is also affected by conflicts, mass displacement, rising inflation, drought, flooding, and other impacts of environmental degradation and climate change. The Alliance will support activities at the national level, but will adopt a cross-borders and transnational approach, working as far as possible at local level to facilitate regional economic and social integration. For his part, the Minister of Finance and Economy, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, declared that this was a major milestone in the Horn of Africa initiative, as this initiative, this innovative alliance will aim to reinvigorate trade, foster economic integration, and promote sustainable development in the Horn of Africa region. The Horn of Africa, he stressed, it is rich in opportunities but also faces some major challenges such as conflict. However, today he added, we are committed to overcoming these challenges together with the shared determination to create a more prosperous and resilient future for our peoples. Indeed, he stressed, we aim to strengthen our efforts to foster trade, encourage greater economic integration, and promote cross-border competition. This alliance is not just an agreement on paper. It embodies our concrete commitment to the region's development. The ministerial delegation from Djibouti, led by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, continues its mission into China. In the Sichuan region, these last stages of the mission was marked by significant meetings and visits to prestigious educational institutions. The objective of this mission is to strengthen educational, cultural, and technological ties between Djibouti and China. The Minister of National Education and his delegation, joined by the Director General of Education, a technical advisor, as well as the 5 principals of Djibouti's high schools, were warmly welcomed in Chengdu, the capital of the Sichuan region, on the 11th of December by the president of the Sichuan University and his collaborator. The mission included visiting several sites, including the Provincial University, Chengdu Basic College, Sichuan Railway School, Chengdu Polytechnic. During the meeting at the university, President Wang Mingyi introduced the institutions and highlighted its extensive international academic exchanges. He also mentioned the Confucius Institute of Djibouti, created in collaboration with the University of Sichuan, thus strengthening educational and cultural ties between China and Djibouti. The Djiboutian minister, for his part, expressed his pride in belonging to his expanding linguistic communities and underlined Djibouti's attachment to multilingualism. He presented the progress made in the Djibouti educational system, notably thanks to the Confucius Institute. Proposals for cooperation have been put forward, such as the generalizations of the Chinese teaching nationally and the strengthening of links with the labor market. The meeting resulted in the signing of an agreement between MENFOP and the Sichuan University providing for quality teaching. This agreement also aims to ensure rigorous monitoring and evaluations to create attractive working conditions, in particular the setting up smart classrooms. During the day of December 14, 2023, the Minister of National Education and his delegation met with the Permanent Secretary of the Communist Party and the principals of the Sichuan Higher College of Railway Technology. After a tour of the facilities and a specialized workshop, discussions were held on strengthening cooperation between the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training and the Sichuan Higher College of Railway Technology, emphasizing the sharing fruitful experience. The principal presented the many specialties offered by the institute, highlighting its essential role in training young people from the Sichuan region as well as students from countries friendly to China, notably the Republic of Djibouti. The exchange concluded with the commitment to strengthen the friendship between the two entities to train qualified young people in the railway field. Finally, on Friday, December 15, 2023, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, concluded his series of visits to China by visiting the Chengdu Polytechnic School. During this last stage, the students of the establishment had the opportunity to present their project to the Minister and his delegation. Also, during the day of December 14, 2023, the Minister of National Education met with the educational officials in the Sichuan region. The deputy head of department expressed his joy at receiving the Djiboutian delegation and praised the minister's efforts to strengthen educational exchanges. During the meeting, the characteristic of the region is its educational establishment and its education statistics were presented. The minister expressed his gratitude. The Minister of Commerce and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, participated from December 13 to 14, 2023 in the 26th sessions of the Council of Ministers of the Arab Tourism League, which was held in Doha, Qatar. During the work of this meeting, the Minister of Trade and Tourism was accompanied by the Ambassador of Djibouti to Qatar, Dayib Dubadroble, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Trade and Tourism, Ali Dawood Abdou, Director General of the National Tourism Agency, Osman Abdi Mohamada, and the meeting made it possible to address several subjects, including the international call for the protection of tourists in the Middle East, the improvement of the quality of tourism, education and training in the region, the development of the inter-Arab tourism cooperation through the promotions of the Arab culture and tourist destinations, and the impact of climate changes on tourism. On the sidelines of the work of this conference, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, spoke with the President of the Tourism Authority, Bin Ali Al-Kharji. The two officials welcomed the existing ties of friendship and cooperation between the two countries. They also affirmed that they will intensify their cooperation in tourism development between Djibouti and Qatar. On the sidelines of the 80th sessions of the Executive Committee of the 45th Conference of the African Parliamentary Union, parliamentarians from Djibouti took part in two meetings. The first meeting was declared to the Economic and Sustainable Development Commission of the African Parliamentary Union. The Honorable Mohamed Musa Ossa and the Djiboutian parliamentary delegation took part in this meeting. The conference concluded with the adoption of a resolution on the development of intra-African trade with a view to the effective implementation of the African Regional Integration Agenda. The second meeting was based on the political commissions of the African Parliamentary Union, chaired by the Honorable Barthélemy Louisa Marie Zoumara, member of the National Assembly of the Central African Republic. The conference concluded with a call for a series of measures to contribute to the implementation of a resolution entitled "The Fight Against Insecurity and Terrorism, a Factor of Political Instability." The Honorable Abdou Sikiye participated in this African Regional Integration Agenda. The Vice Chairman of the APU is recognition of Djibouti's tireless efforts on behalf of African causes. The second Vice President, Honorable Omar Ahmed Wais, namely Nouria Waberi, Shukri Aynan, Omar Waberi, and Mohamed Musa Ossa, permanent members of the Union, EPA. The Honorable Abdou Sikiye is a seasoned politician whose active and effective presence within the EPA institutions, the Djibouti Parliamentary Alliance for Food and Security, has concluded its tourist parliamentarian caravan in Tadjoura region in the interior of the country, in Tadjoura, in the sub-prefecture of Adailu, initiated by the ADP SAN with the support of the food agriculture organizations. The purpose of the caravan was to explore the realities on the ground, visit agricultural perimeter, and above all, exhaustively gather the concerns of Djiboutian agro-pastoralists. After having crisscrossed the country's 4 regions, it was now the turn of the Tadjoura region to welcome the Parliamentary Alliance. Following the meetings with the regional authorities, notably the prefect and the president of the regional council, to discuss the food and nutritional security in the region, the alliance visited the Adailu sub-prefecture in the We'ima region. As part of the trade facilitation programs for a small border trader, the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism, in collaboration with the Trademarks Africa Secretariat, organized a mission to Dakhil with the Technical Committee for Trade Facilitation, the Prefecture, the Regional Council, and Border Trader. This four-day meeting began on December 11, 2023, and ended on December 14, 2023. The aim of the mission was to take stock of progress in implementing the Memorandum of Understanding on Cross-Border Trade, identify challenges and constraints, make proposals and recommendations to the authorities for resolving obstacles, and agree on an action plan to strengthen a small-scale cross-border trade. Facilitating cross-border trade will help meet the economic and commercial challenges facing the Dakhil region and reduce youth unemployment. The program constitutes Pillar 2 of the Horn of Africa initiative. It is financed by the EU, managed by the AFD, and implemented by Trademark Africa. It aims to promote regional economic integration via development of the Djibouti corridor, to develop cross-border trade, to diversify supply and demand on both sides of the border, to improve the revenue situations of our respective countries, and finally, to strengthen links between border traders in our two countries. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Equipment and Transport, Mr. Dileta, said that the highly ambitious policy of regional integrations and the fight against illicit trades, as well as the policy of trade and trade facilitation, is implemented and stressed by the Ministry of Trade. The National Trade Facilitation Committee has been in contact with the main stakeholders in our country's various border localities. This meeting enabled the various players involved to assess the needs of local traders and the solution adapted to their socio-economic situations. The first Medical Congress of Djibouti, which opened its door under the auspices of the Prime Minister, His Excellency Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, last Thursday, continues with the intense, fruitful exchanges of a scientific meeting which delighted with the entire medical community, organized by the National Order of Medical Professionals of Djibouti, and so the participation of the Gota Medical. During these 3 days, 8 sessions followed one another. Yesterday's session was devoted to medico-surgical emergency. In this medico-surgical emergency sessions, the emergencies encountered at the obstetric level, at the level of the general surgery, and also congenital heart disease found in children. The panelists were questioned about the contents of their work. Ideas were shared from different sides for improving the management of medical emergencies at the level of our structure, but also international recommendations on the management of certain pathology in the gastroduodenal waters were exchanged this morning of Saturday, November 16. The medical conference participants focused on a more important sessions where the ENT surgeons and the ophthalmologists shared the works of carried out structures and the pathology they encounter. The Minister of Health organized an awareness raising and vaccination day against COVID-19 in the cattle park sector of Balbala. This awareness day mobilized a massive crowd who came to listen to the preventive recommendations of the Minister of Health. This awareness day mobilized a massive crowd who came to listen to the preventive recommendations of the Ministry of Health, and at the end of the information and awareness session, a number of people were vaccinated against COVID-19. During these COVID-19 vaccination activities, priority is given to frail people, on anyone living with a chronic illness. During these vaccination activities, mobilizing agents from Djibouti's neighborhoods raise awareness through a door-to-door strategy. As part of the fight against smuggling and drug trafficking, Ali Sabih Customs Brigade, in collaboration with the Ali Sabih Police Detachment, seized a large quantity of cannabis packet in the Galilee border. In view of seriousness of the fact, the person involved will be brought before the justice to answer for these actions. The smugglers wanted to transport a large quantity of cannabis in 15-kilogram packet to the capital. For the international scene, in Gaza, 5 dead and dozens injured in the bombing of a school housing displaced people in Khan Yunis. A new day of escalations in Gaza on Saturdays as fightings and street wars continue. At least 5 Palestinians were killed and dozens more injured in an Israeli airstrike targeting a school housing displaced people in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza. Palestinian media reported this is the second major attack by the Israeli army against Palestinian civilians. The Palestinian Wafad news agency reported that 5 people were killed and dozens more were injured in an Israeli bombardment that targeted a school housing displaced people in Khan Yunis, in the south of the Israeli artillery on several neighborhoods of Khan Yunis also caused dozens of victims and injuries, said Wafa Gaza Strip. Since then, at least 18,800 Palestinians have been killed, including 8,000 children and 6,200 women and around 330 medical and civil defense personnel killed, while the number of injured rose to 51,000. Kenya plastic was transformed into the furniture TV beach in Kwale, Kenya. At first glance of an idyllic beach, however, it is no spared from pollution. The shoreline is often invaded by a plastic waste washed up by the ocean. Joel Oenga collected them during low tides to make furniture. These are the plastic that large ships throw into the ocean. The anchors I managed to recover almost 20 tons when it rains in these regions. Also, the plastic was bags of cement nets are all dumped into the oceans. I collect them from the shore and recycle them. Anything from the oceans, whether nets or plastics, must be used. I don't throw them away. The surfaces of the dry land, I make sure that every object I collect from the oceans, I transform it, explains the artist in his workshop. The artist sort them to dry them and make furniture. For example, Joel used the ropes to make chairs. He also receives help from other members of the community. I am friends with this man and he sometimes gives me a helping hand, but I don't have the means to pay him. He lends me a hand because he's passionate about the ocean. However, I would like to obtain funds in order to be able to put these objects on sale in stores and begin their marketing. The money generated by the activities will be reinvested in the ocean. I will hire people to take care of the cleanings, and I must ensure that the TV beach be clean, says Joel Oenga. TV beach is not an isolated case. A large part of the Kenya's coast faces the problems of plastic waste. It is essential to support mitigation efforts, particularly on the parts of the local population. This is made for around $200 US. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.